Hello. Good evening. Is everything working? I think so. Should be fine. We do need some music though. Hang on. How's everyone doing? Hope you're right. Oh, out. What's up? Damn it. Oh, I see. Sorry. It's about this party I'll be going to this weekend. All right. Good to be back. It's been a while. I've been postponing live streaming for a bit. Ooh, shush. Shut up. Thing is, I think my biggest regret is playing Suzerain right before Ramadan. Right before, no, not before Ramadan. Right before Idul Fitri. Eid Mubarak. How do you say it in English? How's the audio levels? Looking alright. Still the intro. It's not that loud. So yeah, I kind of regret playing Suzerain right before the Idul Fitri holidays, because then there's like a huge gap between the moment that I streamed it, then comes the holiday, which is like a week gap, and then comes the next week, the following week, where I'm supposed to stream, but I got a bit busy. That's the thing, with social stuff and whatnot. Like people just got back and so on and so forth. The rest is history. But I'm here, finally here. When was Lebaran anyway? Is that really 2 weeks ago? Should be, right? April. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, exactly. And it's Thursday. I was supposed to stream on Wednesday, but I got too tired because I kind of overestimated my social energy. Like I keep going out, meeting people ever since I got back from Bandung. Even in Bandung, I keep meeting people, like not just my family, but also a couple of my friends. I met my ex actually, which was a very interesting encounter. I haven't met her in 2 years. She suddenly just reached out and, hey, let's catch up. Kind of. So when we broke up, she blocked me and said that we shouldn't talk for a bit. It's gonna take a couple of years, and wouldn't you know it? Like exactly 2 years later, she unblocked me and said like, hey, let's catch up. So there's that, and it's always nice talking with my cousins, hanging out with them, although sadly we didn't really get to spend that much time together. Usually there's this tradition when during takbiran, which is like the night before the lebaran itself, we would drink. We would get alcohol. Usually I'm the one in charge of alcohol, obviously, me being the alcoholic that I am, and yeah, we would just drink together. But sadly, they weren't able to stay as long as I wanted them, as we used to. That is so, but oh well, it's fine. Although in the end, I did have to bring like a lot of bottles back to my place, and where's to my place? It was like I think it was 4 bottles of beers and 6 bottles of soju. Like Jesus. And wouldn't you know, I managed to finish them all as well. Like I had some people over and we finished them. So yeah, I did drink a few when I was still in Bandung before I went back to Jakarta. It's always tricky drinking soju somehow. It's not tricky, but more like it's quite temperamental, I would say. In a sense that you wouldn't really know if it's gonna fuck you over or it's gonna make you chill, in a sense. Although probably it's because I drink too much of it. Wait, no, I drink too fast is when it would fuck you over. But in any case, it's 5 minutes into the stream. Let's actually start the bloody game, shall we? Let me just pause the damn thing. I should have the game open already. There you go. Oh wait, I can actually screen capture properly? Nice. Okay, cool. I was having issues. I hate that when that happens. Why does it keep doing that? So initially, I don't know if you could see this. Let me move my camera for a bit. So if I do a screenshot, it would do that in the corner, as you can see. Like just now when I was opening it, it keeps saying that I need to capture the entire desktop, which is absurd. Like, why would I do that? No. I want that open. Thank you. There you go. But yeah. So we're gonna pick up where we left off when Bernard, our communist MP, our comrade, brothers in arms, got assassinated. I'm calling it the naive run, as you can see. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. It's called the naive run because I'm just naive as a person. Quite idealistic. That's one. I'm very agreeable as well as a person. So sometimes I like to see where things gonna go and then pull out at the last moment if possible, which I don't think the game is allowing me to. One thing for sure, I'm gonna approach this game differently than I did during the first stream, is that I'm just gonna follow the story instead of clicking around too much, because I think that kind of wastes a lot of our time reading, and which makes a rather less engaging experience, I guess. Because I think that the thing about this game is that you're just supposed to follow the story. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Anywho, continue. Naive run. And then the last time we were talking like the damage control or something. Oop. What the fuck? Oh, come on. Sorry. It crashed? Really? Are you kidding me? Just give me a sec. It's running again. Okay, let's play the music. Oh, it's running. There you go. It'll be fine. Bum, bum, bum. Lamau. Hey, you just. Don't know what happened there. It was running just fine before. Alright, let's continue. Thing. Please don't crash. Okay, thank fuck. Continue. Continue? Okay. Alright, a few days later. What do we have here? Shall we check the news first? Okay. Swordist politician shot dead. A Swordist poet and politician who had spoken out about the idea of the dictatorship of the proletariat was shot during the evening of Anton Reign's inauguration ball. Bernard Circus, a 53-year-old Swordist member of assembly, was shot a number of times by a gunman at the entrance of the Maroon Palace, who was identified to be a member of the Young Source, is the fascist group, if I believe. Despite his radical views, Mr. Circus was elected to be an independent member of assembly in the 1953 elections, and sadly did not manage to live long enough to serve his duty. He was said to have repeatedly received threats from Swordist nationalists, who viewed him as a traitor for promoting millennialism in Swordland. Television footage showed the famous poet's body lying face down, draped with a white sheet, on the pavement in front of the gates of the Maroon Palace. Why would you just leave the body there? Lilias Graf, the interior minister, said she had assigned a group of leading ministry officials to lead the hunt for the killers. Once again, dark hands have chosen our country and spilled blood in whole sword to achieve their dark goals, she told a news conference. We are investigating all aspects of this crime. I think I gave them a British voice. Lilias? Lilias is... Oh, it's her. Never mind. His funeral will be held tomorrow in his home city, Dare. The local police have reported to have increased security measures for the ceremony and stand ready for a massive attendance. Let's see what the radical has to say. Farewell, Bernard Circus. It is a sad moment for Sorlan. We have lost a renowned poet who not only wrote about the struggles of the working class, but also acted on them. However, his decision to enter Sori's politics was met with a sick attack that ended his life. This was indeed intended as a message to all opposing voices in Swordland. We, the team here at the Radical, condemn this evil act of terror of the young swords, who we believe must be held accountable as a whole group. It is finally the time for the government to realize this organization as a terrorist threat and serve the justice that is due. I think that's probably what I'm going to do. Bernard Circus is always going to be in our hearts as a great swordish poet, as a revolutionary, as a leader of the swordish avant-garde, as a futurist, as a romantic, as a millennialist, but beyond all, as a symbol of freedom of speech. He is now a man who was murdered for speaking his mind. This cannot remain as yet another political murder of the sad reality of Swordland. In fact, it is time to change this. It is time to speak up as people. The most beautiful sea hasn't been crossed yet, said the great poet, reminding us to always have hope. And we must strive to have hope and to make them a reality. It is the best way to honor his memory. Oh, that's sweet. Bernard Circus will be laid down in Dare tomorrow. Any citizen who wants to pay respect is invited to attend. What else have we checked? Swordland today, unity despite differences. Swordland has two paths to the future, and this year is critical to decide which path we embark upon. Amid a recession, the lack of stability and security caused by the death of Bernard Circus is an unacceptable reality. We need more jobs and a safe atmosphere for our country is supposed to grow and prosper. But how will we increase our employment and open new factories if there is blood flowing down the streets? Swordland will never reach its goals as an advanced society if we descend in a downward spiral of a splintering of our nation. Peace and prosperity for now and forever. What does the economist have to say? Sorry, I'm turning off the AC. You just die. Why is everything so scuff? Anywho, the only way out of recession, bailing out businesses. Really, economists? Out of all things you could have said when a minister just got died. Well, member of parliament. Apparently MP is member of parliament, not minister. Swordland's economy has been displaying a downward trend over the past years of Alfonso's presidency. If we want to prevent our country from declaring bankruptcy, we need a way out of this recession, and we need it now. The economic downturn keeps hitting hard at the businesses which are struggling to stay afloat. It is clear that a helping hand from the government is required to control the situation. There is no other way apart from bailing out businesses to truly provide relief to the economy. This in turn should revitalize the economy by creating more employment opportunities and increasing production in Swordland. Okay, like bailouts, I would only consider that given that, I can make special provisions, say like you're not allowed to fire any of your employees, or given that your profit margin is like below zero or something, below 0%. But other than that, then yeah, fuck you. It's just an economic downturn. What do you expect? Why do we have to bail you out? Whether it's a method of the past, I don't think this is that interesting. The Lachavin times. This is really left and right extremists increase the country. Just give me a sec. We're calling up for peace. Other detected from the rise member of young sources said about it. Then it shows they are willing to use extreme actions. Said blah blah blah. We live within these borders together, and therefore we all bear responsibility. A duty to live together with our differences. Research unifying message is something that we all should listen. Murder was a method of the past, and it tainted us, reminded us who we were before. La 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 la. Oh, Valsland labor unions drive further decentralized economic growth, empower workers. This is interesting. Building upon the foundations of Valslandian socialism, inspired by Emmerich Hegel's revolutionary ideas, labor unions are spearheading the next phase of decentralized economic growth and worker empowerment in Valsland. This unique form of socialism, emphasizing a federal economic organization of society, ooh, I'm really liking this, continues to reshape the nation's political and economic landscape. The Volkswagen Workers Cooperative, hells yeah, a successful example of Volkswagen socialism in practice, has demonstrated the potential of democratic, decentralized management structures. This model has led to a remarkable 17% increase in productivity and an impressive 33% rise in worker satisfaction. I can imagine that's how the research will show. I mean, you give agency to the worker, allowing them to actually vote to partake in the decision-making process that could directly impact their day-to-day lives, then obviously they would be more satisfied with their jobs. They would find it more fulfilling because they have a stronger sense of ownership, agency, and all that. You can vote for, like how long is the working hour, how much you get paid, all that stuff. Which, yeah, sure. Well, of course, at the same time, you need to understand the finances of the company. So you can't just say, okay, I'm just not going to work at all and you're going to pay me as much as I want. Of course not. At the same time, there's like a balancing act where you need to be confronted with the reality that managing a business is not that easy as you may think. So I think it's a very balanced way of running a business in a way that everyone gets to understand what they're doing. So that way, like it could reach a nice little equilibrium between work-life balance, probably. In light of these successes, Volkswagen's Minister of Labor, Frida Albertsson, I think I butchered the name, recently unveiled a new initiative in Hyom aimed at further expanding infrastructure, promoting scientific and technological advancement, and fostering industrial growth. Guided by the principles of decentralization and democratic control, this plan seeks to build on the Volkswagen Workers Cooperative model and apply it on a larger scale. Ooh, there's going to be a challenge scaling that up. We believe because by then you're faced because all of the workers will have a right to vote, right? When you increase that in scale, it means that it's going to become more difficult to manage, more voices to cater, more aspirations and all that. Which is why sometimes people would make a federation of worker cooperatives. Like, I know it's a bad example, but Mondragon did that. Oh, I miss talking about worker cooperatives. It's been so long. Mondragon is a bad example, I say, because even though technically it does have a federation of worker cooperatives, where each, not just division, but the companies are bundled. The companies that are in the form of worker cooperatives are bundled into one federation of worker cooperatives, where they get to make a decision, the broader decision, I guess, the baseline decisions. But then there are certain details where each individual worker cooperatives gets to decide on their own. Now the thing is, when I say it's a bad example, it's because it turns out at the end, not all of the workers get to be a member of the cooperative itself. Not all of them have the right to vote because, as it turns out, they decided to outsource some of their labor. And by outsourcing, they don't get the same rights as the workers who are members of the cooperative. So that's an unfortunate shortcoming. Anywho, offer a sustainable economic power in the future of all the earth. Okay, cool. Let's open Whole Sword. Dinner with the family at home. Let's start with security briefing, shall we? Or read the report? The Chief of Police Carl Greiser reports that two Bloodish women with affiliations to the Bloodish Freedom Front have been caught in Whole Sword, where he could execute a terror attack at a crowded rally. Excuse me. Both women are listed as wanted criminals and enemies of the state. The arrested women have admitted their intentions to attack the National Front Party rally at Seoul Square. Bloodish is... Yellow Literat is a Bloodish militant political. Since the Izam is involved in an armed conflict with the Swordist state, the name of achieving an independent Bloodish state. They're the minorities, right? Bloodish? No? They're created in protest against swordless oppression of the Bloodish people, see, and heavily promoted Bloodish nationalism among the local community. But what's your politics, though? Is it just nationalism? Ladies can call themselves followers of Astrav. Okay. Is it under control? La la la. Sure. Oh, never mind. It's gonna move to different places. Let's start with security briefing. I arrived in front of the doors leading to the situation room. Today's security briefing was arranged in two parts, starting with internal matters and moving on to external matters after a short break. The Minister of Interior Lilias Graf and the Minister of Justice and Law Nia Modia would join us for the first part, the law enforcement briefing. For the second part of the Minister of Defense, Josef Lancia, would join with a few high-ranking officials, including the Chief of the Armed Forces, Vulcan Kruger. That's going to be a new character, Vulcan Kruger. I opened the door. Lucian, Nia, and Lilias rose from their seats. Sir? I think that's the voice I gave him. Please take your seats. Let's begin. Everyone in the room sat down except for Lucian. He put on his glasses and went through the documents in front of him. Shortly after, he raised his head to address the attendees. Mr. President, ladies, we will kick off today's meeting with the internal security briefing. I am assuming everyone has already been over the agenda. We all have busy schedules, so without further ado, I will jump into our first topic. As we feared, the political atmosphere has worsened. The reports around the country indicate that tensions are rising as we feared. Wait, I'm supposed to give a feminine voice, what the fuck? What is the status on the Bernard Circus investigation? And this is like a stoic, slightly deeper voice. I have received news this morning that the investigation into the murder of Bernard Circus has concluded. Great news, I am eager to hear about the details. After further investigation and testimonies, we have confirmed the motive and also the events leading up to the shooting. A few days prior, members of the Red Youth initiated a violent attack on a young source local leader in Jen. We believe the young source then called for revenge, leading to the death of Mr. Circus. Since he often spoke against the young source and nationalist sentiments in the assembly, he was a big target, not to mention his radical communist views. He had it coming then, the fuck? Sutherland just lost a great writer, for what? Let's go with this one. Let's swing left, shall we? Radical. Sutherland just lost a great writer. For what? It is unfortunate, but it was likely that an incident would happen. Okay. Lilas handed over the report and pointed at a highlighted section in the document. The investigation revealed a very troubling fact. The funding sources of the Red Youth have a clear link to United Contana. I want to be friends with United Contana? No? This is proof that they're meddling in our affairs. Are you sure? I will say, are you sure? Are you absolutely sure? Yes, we have found the cash trail. Several Red Youth members with ties to United Contana have been detained, and information extracted from them points to a preparation for a communist uprising in Swordland. It isn't unusual for the superpowers to influence other nations, but I think this case is a little far-fetched. Why am I slipping British accent? The left lacks popular support in Swordland. Mia eagerly lifted her hand. I motioned for her to speak. I went over a report in detail. It would be wrong to jump to conclusions about a clear foreign interference yet. United Contana has humanitarian and cultural ties with many countries, including Swordland. I also don't want to jump to conclusions immediately. We shouldn't create a crisis with them. Nearly 3 decades ago, they founded General Ricard and tried to establish a communist dictatorship in our country. If it was not for Colonel Soul, we would have seen the real crisis. She took a sip from a glass of water and continued. Our police chief, Carl Greiser, has linked to the funding channel to the United Contana Consulate in Benfi. As we all know, the enemies of Swordland are many, but we also have threats inside the country. As a government, we have all the powers to deal with anything. Our country always had issues to this power, but we need to remain vigilant. As a people and nation. If we give up essential freedoms to purchase temporary security, we deserve neither freedoms nor security. This is debatable, but yes, we know what more security and surveillance caused to this country under President Soul. Let's not forget that President Soul, God bless him, brought stability after a long period of bloodshed and chaos. But moving on, our highest internal threat comes from the estimated 20,000 strong Buddhist Freedom Front, led by the imprisoned Julian Arch. They are a banned political organization, now a militant force that is trying to incite racial violence. They make a lot of noise but have little substance. A barking dog doesn't bite. Are they supported by our British citizens? Are they cooperating with any British political organization? Yeah, how about the citizens? To some extent. Luckily, they couldn't attract a wide audience of Bloods, but they could potentially attract thousands of anti-British sentiment spreads. If anti-British sentiment spreads in Swordland again. Liz pointed to page 3 in the report. Our intelligence intercepted 2 crates filled with weapons close to Rumbark border. They were filled with military-grade Ka-74 AK-47? Are you fucking kidding me? Okay. We expect that more had been smuggled in. A group of Bloods, let's call it Bloods, were caught with these guns at a checkpoint not far away. Governor of Bergia, Felix Braun, is already taking the necessary measures to counter the threat. Rumbark has been acting aggressively in the region for a long time. I'm not surprised that they would attempt to weaponize the British people against us. This is worrying. Very worrying. Can we make a direct correlation between the BFF and Rumbark? It was expected that Rumbark would undermine us, but it's too far. We need to keep level-headed with Rumbark. They're looking for reasons to take actions. We can't let anyone meddle with our internal stability. Let's go with this one. Level-headed? They will play dirty while we play nice. It is a battle we will lose. This is grave news, but we must be careful not to stoke the fires of anti-British sentiment. Fortunately, Governor Braun is directly causing the tensions to increase with his increasingly anti-British stance. I must remind you that Governor Braun is directly responsible for the arrest of Dylan Arch, the previous leader of the BFF. It's true that his methods can be extreme at times, but it was his policies that kept the region peaceful over the last decade. Fucking... okay. Well, I think, if I recall, Lilias is rather right-leaning, because like fear-mongery, anti-immigrant shit and all that. He has been using the powers given to him by Tarkin's soul. The insane authority over the government is surely a root of cause. It will be very difficult to revoke the special status of Bergia under the current circumstances, Miss Mornia. The presidents no longer have the authority Tarkin's soul enjoyed. For now, yes, but with enough justification for it, it will be possible. And we will be discussing this at a later time. I'd like to hear more. As you know, Bergia was given a special status by Tarkin's soul after a full-scale uprising by the BFF, best friend forever, against the Soros government in 1935. Those couple years were disastrous for Bergia. Dulan Arch and the BFF declared war on us, openly attacked our people, and occupied entire cities. Sounds like they're just marginalized, that's why they've been doing that. It was a massive uprising, but I'd like to point out the longest time they were in control of a city was 2 weeks. I wouldn't call that an occupation. Despite the arrest of Dulan Arch in 1944 and the BFF seizing his activities, the special status of the region were never revoked. Today, the special zone of Bergia gives the governor insane amounts of authority. He was in trouble with the law before for not following the central government's authority. Unfortunately, Bergia also has its own police forces, directly commanded by Governor Braun. They are not part of my ministry and only cooperate when they are forced to do so. This is a problem. I see. Even though our forces have the authority to serve in Bergia, the special zone leaves the security of Bergia mostly in the hands of the governor. That leaves my hands tied. The discrimination Bergia suffers is maddening. We should find a way to revoke the special status of Bergia one way or another. I'd rather not disturb the status quo where we're facing all these threats. We must reverse this situation. It is absurd that the Ministry of Interior doesn't have full control over Bergia's security. Governor Braun and his special powers deserve credit for the current peace in the region. Oh, fuck, no. Let's go with number 1. I will do my best, Mr. President. What is the second most important threat? It is the gang violence that is threatening the Nargis and Aknalan regions. Two prominent organized crime families are at war, and the potential for bloodshed is real. Which two crime families? Oh my god. Coffee. One is known as the Coronelli and the other as the Skinner Cartel. They used to be allies until a recent disagreement. Both are active in the cities of Narbel and Estord. They are playing with fire. I want them gone for good. Lelis, I trust that you can handle them. I am doing my best, sir. I shall be honest with you. With our current capabilities, we may not be able to prevent the further arming of separatists while maintaining order in Bergia, Nargis, and Aknalan. If the law enforcement budget is increased, I can't be fully responsible for what happens. Our police units are spread thin as is. You will do your job, whatever happens. Don't come to me with excuses. Should I increase the law budget? Is there any way I can know? Well, not budget. Connection, overview. Border security, welfare, diplomacy. Okay, never mind. Let's go with that. My job is to keep you fully informed, and this is the reality. My experience and expertise in keeping our country safe from violent thugs can only go so far. Alright, gotta run. See you this weekend, my man. Sure. Take care. See you. Thanks for stopping by. Time is it? It's 9. Okay. I wish you would stop using the word thugs, Lilias. The real problem is corruption, which is fueling the gang violence and is very likely the reason why these weapons were smuggled in. A higher budget could help us end that. Your ministry must tackle the issue with persistence, Miss Moktia. These threats seem more direct than a few bribes. Let's go with this one. Or, I'm not sure, actually. A higher budget could help us. Do I want to give... Who is Nia Morgan again? Minister of Justice. Everyone wants more budget. Jesus. Does seem more direct than a few bribes. Let's go with that. This sounds more interesting. They are, and they need all the attention they can get from our administration. Ooh, catfight. Well, this concludes the topics for the internal portion. Thank you for the uplift, Mrs. Graff, Mrs. Moya. Thank you for the overview. Have a good day. Until next time. The two ministers left the room. We took a short break before continuing to the second part. Upon invitation, ESF Lancia, along with 3 high-ranking officials from the Ministry of Defense, walked into the room. One of the men was none other than General Kruger, the chief of the armed forces. ESF made his way towards the table while the other stood by the door. Mr. President. ESF, welcome. I brought General Kruger with me due to the escalation on our borders. Sounds like, well, kind of sounds like Lucian, but a bit older, I guess. General Kruger stepped forward and saluted. He had a strong jaw with sharp cheekbones. His tall stature, uniform, and medals, combined with his deep and intense stare, made him look threatening. He was in his 70s, yet he had a bulky body that was a result of his commando training. Not only was he the second most decorated officer in Swordland, he was also the longest serving. General Kruger. Shake his hand. His handshake was firm, strong, and confident, without Oxford coma. What the fuck? Yusuf tapped his foot impatiently. He seemed uneasy with the presence of another high-ranking officer in the room. What's wrong? Gentlemen, thanks for coming to this significant gathering. Let's begin. Yusuf and Vulcan took their seats at the table while the rest of the officers stood by the door. Mr. President, the situation at the western and northern borders towards Rumburg is very tense. We are observing deployments of divisions closer to our border. Oh. Rumburg has been acting increasingly expansionist in the past decades and also interfered in Agnolia. But now they have turned their sights on us. What is your current strategy? Patrolling close to the borders with our border force and keeping army reserve divisions near. It seems like they want to increase. It is exactly the same voice though, isn't it? Seems like they want to increase the pressure both externally and internally. Need to play up the cadence. Mr. President, if I may. Please, General. The picture is becoming clearer. Latest information from the interior about the weapons cache, and now there is an active military buildup close to our borders. The entire situation was analyzed by our general staff, and our prediction is the future territorial incursion by Rumburg. Let them come, we will give them hell. I have complete trust in the general staff. We will not let you down, Mr. President. General staff is composed of the smartest military individuals. I will require an increase in the military budget to enlist more soldiers. Only then we can stand strong against our enemies. The enlarged armed forces will hold them at bay. Vulcan is right. We do need an increase in the military budget. Although we didn't see eye to eye on exactly how to spend the budget, that much we agree on. I have my concerns about Rumburg too. We need strong allies to withstand such a superior power. They are our nemesis. That is an understatement. Times are changing and war is coming, Mr. President. Whether we like it or not, we must be prepared. During the election, you said nothing about focusing on our military. I ask you to reconsider and to increase the military budget. The future and safety of Swordland is in your hands. As you said, times change, Yusuf. We will see. A smile brought a glimmer of hope on Yusuf's face. Our forces would crumble under our decrease, and Rumburg would be much more compelled to exploit our weaknesses. Attack any nation allied with any superpower. That is an interesting point. If we allied up with, the communists, maybe it will change their mind. I like Volksland, the cooperative nation, right? These options should be considered. They could be considered, but why pander to others when we can solve these issues ourselves? We have no true friends outside of these borders. Everyone fell silent when a soldier entered the room and let Yusuf Lancia know that a call had come through from the ministry. Excuse me, Mr. President. Yusuf left the room to answer. A few minutes later, he entered the room again. His expression had changed. Mr. President, there has been Rumburgian military activity close to the Narble border. I just spoke with the local commander. Vulcan, we should go to the ministry and get further updates from our branches. Vulcan? Understood. Raising military readiness is the first call of action. If it is truly an extraordinary attempt, we will relay it to you immediately and wait for further orders, Mr. President. I showed them the might of the Swordist armed forces. Your service appreciated, gentlemen. Remain calm and try not to escalate things further. Nobody wants a war. Make sure they know we are observant and ready. Always watching, always ready is our motto, sir. El Swordland! Hey! They saluted and left the room. Rumburg was already testing us, and the reports from the interior indicate interference inside our borders. Communist, nationalist, Buddhist rebels, Rumburg expansionism? What was next? Swordland has always been a key piece in the chessboard of the global rivalry between Arcasia and the United Contano. But in the recent years, there was no such aggression from Rumberg, not at at these levels at least. All it takes is one tiny spark to start the flames of war. The phone rang. Rumberg had decided to close their consulate in Lochhaven. Lochhaven. Ah. Diplomatic pressure. The expansionist doctrine of Rumberg over the last century has led to a highly volatile situation on the Merkaba continent. Rumberg's action has contributed to increased tensions and instability in the region, with potential negative consequences for neighboring nations in Swordland. Diplomatic pressure. Swordland is facing noticeable pressure from Rumberg, demonstrated by the reductions of diplomatic staff and the closure of a key consulate. This development is expected to simply impact Swordland diplomatic blah 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 blah. I need to grab a drink. I'll be right back. I am back. Radical. The real truth behind economic crisis. We have all seen this scenario play before. Large corporate businesses, time and time again, receive money from the government under the disguise of helping the economy. But what about the people? Many in the neglected regions still do not have electricity or fresh water in their homes, and they are the lucky ones. There is a growing housing crisis and people are on the streets begging for food in the year of 1954. It is high time that money is invested in us, the people of Swordland, instead of armchair millionaires in their luxurious villas. Exactly. I love these damn radicals. 1927 never again. I was there when General Lutheran and Ricard clashed in the plains outside of Holsword, when the armies of Swordist people killed each other. I was there when Colonel Sol won the war after bombarding cities with Swordist civilians inside them. We saw this great nation fall into bloodshed and chaos. We thought that we learned our lesson and formed a new republic. But one man's idea became the idea of the state, and we are allowed it to be forced upon us. We are a generation who lived with Tarkin Soul for most of their lives. However, this generation is different. Our kids have not experienced civil war or martial law. This generation is born within a changing time. We cannot allow the same conditions to return. We cannot forget when General Lutheran declared martial law in 1927. When his tanks rolled and murders took place, those tanks cannot roll again. Bombs cannot fall again. Freedoms cannot be suspended again. 1927. Never again. Cool. Rumberg closes consulate. Rumberg has closed down its consulate, blah blah blah. It comes right after the deployment of Rumberg troops near the Poland borders. Rumberg officials cited political unrest and uncertainties, the main reason for the closure, while raising concerns of security in the country. Lack of a diplomatic source, blah 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 blah. Alrighty. So we got Swordland. Let's get Valksland. Let's talk to Valksland. Valhan, Dirtia. Fontana Security Pact. Alright, let's go with Voxland. Open Contest entry, military, strong military, nice. Amrich Hegel, Socialist Republic. Absolute monarchy, Dutch. Kingdom of Russia. Semi-constitutional monarchy. Semi-constitutional monarchy. What the fuck does that even mean? Semi-constitutional monarchy. Theocratic Republic. Oh, dear. Fucking enemy. Parliamentary Republic. Parliamentary Republic. Parliamentary Republic. Presidential Republic. So only one of them is actually a widespread protest in our area. What's wrong? Can't exactly do anything about it. It's fine. Ooh, what's this? Illegal firearms found in Communist Party office. The British Security President. The building has been closed and 22 members of the Communist Party. Sutherland has been detained. Young Sword's youth wing leader dead after terror attack. Ooh, this is spicy. 2 balloons. Communist Party leader suspected of bomb attack. And undecided back in front of the NFP office, the National Front Party in Valgan was destroyed by the police on suspicions of a bomb threat, blah blah. Valgan Militaner has been arrested in connection to the incident. Ooh. Non-consent consulate held protesters. Around midnight, red youth protesters clashed with young swords at the Vesor city center, resulting in many injuries. The counter-protesters were cornered in front of the United Contana consulate after they were pushed back by the police. The diplomatic mission opened its doors, and red youth members escaped inside. Police. Damn. Not necessarily do anything there, so it's fine. Boxland, Agnolia. This is Rumberg. This is the border, Estord. Police overburden in Estor. We have been receiving reports of a lack of equipment and staff from the police forces in Estor. With escalating violence in the city, the officers have been working 12-hour shifts to suppress the protests to no avail. Ooh. Can we do something about that? Stall down, reach maximum capacity. Legal KA-74. Police understaff. Ooh. Narble. Hang in there, Narble. Overview. What's happening here? Order, situation. Nationwide revolts. Oh. Oh. Recent events, the situation is increasingly intense, and if not contained, it could cause significant harm to the country's economy and stability. Security forces are working tirelessly to restore order and prevent further violence. Jesus. Oh no. What are we going to do? Dinner with family at home. Let's go. Ah. After a long day at the palace, I was finally home. I thanked Serge and walked through the front gates, nodding at the two guards as I went by. Even as I turned the doorknob, I could hear Diana rushing down the stairs to greet me. I opened the door and there she was, standing in front of me with expectant eyes. Papa, you're home. There's my beautiful princess. There's my bright little daughter. I lifted Diana up and hugged her while trying to put the keys in the tray next to the entrance. She was growing fast. Lifting her up was no longer as easy as it once was. How was school? Boring. I like my old school better. I put her down and expression turned serious. Papa, are the bad men gone? It was only one bad man, Diana, and yes, he's gone now. I will never let anyone hurt you, ever. Okay, Papa. Diana dashed down the hallway. Mama, Papa's here. Monica appeared next to the kitchen door. She was wearing an apron and holding a spatula in her hand. Diana, what did I tell you? No running in the house. Yes, Mama. Monica approached me and kissed me on the cheek. A tantalizing smell wafted from the kitchen behind her. Darling, you shouldn't have. What, do we have a cook now? What, do we have a cook now? How was your day, dear? Terrific. I finally got to do some grocery shopping. Just like old times. And I'm making your favorite. You mean... Yes, svabli. Svabli. Svabli was a classic whole-sort delicacy. Vegetables and creamy sheep cheese sandwiched between thin layers of dough. Okay. At least it has cheese in it, I guess. It was absolutely my favorite dish, especially paired with cabbage. I posted unfiltered wine from Bergia. It's my lucky day. Kiss her on the cheek, of course. I just wanted to cheer everyone up a bit. Her smile faded and she lowered her voice so that Diana wouldn't hear. Especially after what happened at the ball. I am worried, Anton. For you, for the children, and for the country. Diana suddenly appeared next to us. Mama? Yes, sweetheart. I'm hungry. We'll eat just in a minute. In just a minute, will you help me set the table? Anton, could you tell Frank to come down for dinner? He's been sulking in his room all day. Monica started taking out the plates while I headed upstairs to fetch my son. Loud rock and roll music echoed down the hallway from his room. I caught a faint hint of cigarette smoke. Give it a nice knock. Knock on the door. There is no response. Frank, turn down that racket and open the door. Knock on the door again. There's still no response. Bang on the door. Sir in Frank's room clicks off. Alright, alright. He unlocked and opened the door. What do you want? Why did I give him that voice? The fuck? Food is ready. Turn those records up louder next time, won't you? I don't think the neighbors hear. I am your father, and you will respond when I ask for you. Hand over those cigarettes and join your family for dinner. Food is ready. Great. I'm starving. I'm starving. Frank headed downstairs to the dining room and I followed after. The table was prepared and Monica was ladling food onto the plates. Come on, have a seat. It won't be as tasty if it's cold. I started eating, the room went quiet. Monica's cooking was as delicious as ever, but I had the feeling that wasn't the reason nobody spoke. Monica was the first to break the silence. Say, did you know that they refurbished the grocery store? I don't know if you remember the owner. He's been there every day for the past 30 years. Can you imagine doing the same job for so long? What if you were president for 20 years, for example? Honestly, would that be really so bad? No, don't say that. 20 years of this? I'd be dead. I don't want this country to suffer under another soul. Agreed, that must never happen again. Anyway, the grocer really is a nice person. He threw in some extra vegetables with my... Frank suddenly slammed his hands on the table, rattling the plates. Monica, Diana, and I stared at him. So this is how it's going to be. We're just going to sit here like nothing happened. Dad, you could have been killed. Mom could have been killed. Any one of us could have died. Diana's lower lip started trembling. Monica put her hand on Frank's shoulder. Frank, you know I would never let anything happen to you or Diana, even if it cost me my life. I don't know what you have us do. Frank? Huh? You little punk? You will not raise your voice to me, young man. And yet we're still alive. We're all still alive. Frank, you know I will never let anything happen. I know, but still. Can you at least tell me if something is being done about this? It was really close, Dad. My security assured me that they took all the necessary steps. It was one rogue shooter, but not even the target. But what if we were? Frank, listen to your father. If your father says we don't need to worry, then we don't need to worry. You have to trust him. Monica turned to me. We all have to trust each other. Things calmed down a bit at the table. We finished our food in silence. Frank got up first and retreated back to his room. Monica lifted Diana up and plopped her in front of the living room TV before returning to the table. She sat down across from me. Anton, he's still young. I know, but there's not much longer we can shield him from the ugliness of the world. My father would have given me hell for that kind of insubordination. He's scared, Anton, and frankly, he isn't the only one. I promise if there truly is any threat to his family, you will be the first to know. All you need to worry about is putting more delicious dinner on our table. What the fuck? I worry too, Monica. These things might escalate. Yeah, let's go with number one. Reassure her. She got up, stood behind me, and massaged my shoulders for a moment. Oh, that's nice. I would love to get a massage right now. It's a very intimate activity for me. So normally I would only ask it from people that I care of. So like never like go to a massage parlor, you know? It's just different. I sat alone at the table and drained my glass of cabbage. Fermented cabbage, can you imagine that? Had I been lying to Frank and Diana, was the threat to my family truly over? Time will tell. Alrighty. Oh, Katana Security Pact. CSP faction spotlights workers' rights in report. Okay, cool. Morella expresses condolences for Circus. What is this? Arcasian 3D organization. Arcasia develops first ICBM. Oh. Intercontinental ballistic missile? Yep. Self-4 has made a strike range spanning thousands of kilometers, represent a major leap in Arcasian military technology. Alright, that's a bit concerning. All sort. End of day at Maroon Palace. Alright, react to the unrest. Let's do that. The political situation around the country has escalated. Chief Strategist Lucian Galade has prepared several action plans that we can execute. What will we do to address the intensifying political climate? Label all protesters as traitors? Definitely not. Expand the police by deploying all recruits to training? No. Visit affected towns in person. Let's do that. End of day at the Maroon Palace. It was late in the evening. The Maroon Palace was finally getting somewhat quiet when I returned to my office at the top. I eagerly approached my chair and sprawled out on it. It had been an exhausting day, just like every day since I took office. For some whiskey, let's go! For a little whiskey for myself and had a sip. Felt like the best solve after a long day of work. I glanced downwards out the window and saw Serge and the guards waiting for me by the main gate. I heard a couple of knocks on the door. My secretary Livia Suno entered. Mr. President, Mr. Tusk is here to see you. Ah, you had a meeting with the Lotherberg spokesman. I'm so sorry for not giving you proper notice. Mr. Tusk? Oh wow, okay. Don't worry about it. Thank you for your understanding. We have to remove Mr. Tusk's swagger into the room. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one. Spicy one. I've met Sorlin's most prominent businessman once or twice, but never alone. He had large jowls, blindingly shiny shoes, and the air of someone who was used to getting his way. Anything to drink, Mr. Tusk? Water? Whiskey? Cognac. Preferably before you were born, sweetheart. I'll check the supply room. Olivia backed out of the office, shooting me an apologetic look as she did so. Walter hung up his hat, which I could see was aligned with mink. He fixed me with a long, hard stare, then broke into a toothy grin. Good evening, Mr. President. No, wait, let's like that voice again. Good evening, Mr. President. I'm here to congratulate you. Well sat down. My business partners and I wish you a successful term as the leader of our nation. Why is it an Australian accent? I have no idea. Get to the point, Mr. Tusk. Why are you really here? Thank you, Mr. Tusk. I had no chance to say this at the ball with all the panic, but we are very much looking forward to working with you. I have no idea what voice am I doing for this person. Likewise. I'd like to build a profitable relationship between us. That being said, there are some concerns of mine and the people I represent. Let's go with that. Which I would like to take this opportunity to clear up. What are these concerns? The ruined state of the economy in Swordland has influenced everyone. The recession hit all of us hard. Walter pulled out a box of cigars from his jacket. I had it brought from Lesbia. The best cigars in the whole continent, so let's try one. Yes, please. Got one of the pack, Walter lit it up with his large grave lighter. Now we're talking. Man who knows pleasure and business. It's only a cigar, mate. Chill out. I've just had a whiskey myself. Walter grabbed himself a cigar and lit it up as well. We looked out at the city scenery as we both puffed away. Well, I could use a smoke, honestly. The assassination and the troubles between the left and the right are worrying, but the recession is the root cause of these issues. For us, it is worrying to see that you have decided to promote a planned economy. The recession was triggered by the market reforms of Alfonso. We need more government control to fix the economy. Not mind we disagree. No more government control to fix the economy. Do you really, though? Our government is already overburdened with managing several key industries, with a loss of efficiency. He leaned forward in his chair. The highway investment was a good call. Sorry. But there was more to gain in the high-speed rail, especially for business logistics. Our goal is to focus on the needs of businesses, people of the businesses. The intention of the administration is to boost the economy. I don't want to disclose our intentions to an outsider. The Aklan region was in dire need of investments. Yeah, let's go with that. The most important goal is to divert investments where most profits can be made for the treasury. We can be close allies. The group can help you get Swordland out of the recession, which will be the key problem to solve in your term, and could even determine your re-election. Let's start with the gesture of goodwill. Soon, the investment project contract will be awarded to one of the three main contenders. He pulled a check out of his pocket and slid it towards me on the table. My personal bank details were listed on it with a deposit of 500,000 swords Ren ready to be transferred. This was 6 months of a president's salary. If the contract were somehow awarded to Underhole Construction, they would not only work hard and deliver, but also do it on time. What do you think, Mr. Rain? Wouldn't that be good? Put his index finger on the cheek. Wouldn't that be good? There was a noise by the door. Livia Suno was standing there, holding a tray with a bottle and 2 glasses. I'm so sorry, Mr. Tuss, but all I could find was a 1942 Sevigny. I hope that's acceptable. She quickly put a tray on my desk and walked out. Tuss eyed her as she left. Remind me to visit your office more often. Now, where were we? Do we have a deal? Oh, this is a toughie. Not yet. We both know you can do better than that amount. You just tried to bribe the president of Swordland? I refuse. No, we'll make my own decision. So I kind of got like I want to keep him as my ally, but do I need to accept his bribe to do so? Can I just not? Let's make it spicy. I wanna chink in my armor, so to say. Let's accept the bribe. Indeed, Mr. Tuss. I am looking forward to our future transactions. You don't have to wait long, Mr. Rain. As a gesture of faith in our newfound partnership, I'll invite you to a special meeting in the future. Donations. Accept a bribe. He grinned and let out a laugh. Sorry. The check was right between his hands. He pulled his hands back and I took the check. This deal will also show to the group that the administration has left the private sector behind. Our goal is to unite every stakeholder to improve the economy. Let's go with that. I'm very happy we came to an agreement today, Mr. Tusk. Let's go with that. Exactly. Business owners need to unite and support growth. Thanks to your efforts, we'll see it happen. However, before I forget, a final token of my gratitude. Walter pulls a box of cigars out of his pocket and reads Vero Benvenuto. Some of Lesbia's finest, made by true craftsmen in the fabled city of San Verlon. You should visit someday should the opportunity arise. We'll be in touch. Walter stood up, grabbed his jacket, and shook my hand before making his way towards the door. I smiled before closing the door and leaving. I gathered my things and prepared to finally head home. As I walked out, I noticed Livia still there, covering up her typewriter for the evening. Why made me so bold, Mr. President? Did she accept this offer? As a matter of fact, I did. What of it? Are you sure it was a good idea? You've just given him leverage over you that he can't use for the rest of your time in office. Don't worry your pretty head about it, Jesus. I'm valid concerned, but I've made my decision. She and I took a moment to look out for the lights of the city before heading to the elevators. Okay, that's quite intense. Vero Benvenuto. Can obtain a gun, a headphone, a perfume, a trophy, a lighter, a remote. I don't know what that is. Sword, a dagger, a knife, statue of a goat. What the fuck? Okay, so are we done with the construction yet? Glenkirk. Finalization of the highway contract. Nice. The aircraft of cheering citizens greeted us in the local government. Uno momento. Nice. Okay. Right. I'm hosting a seminar on Tuesday, and I reached out one of the stakeholders that I intend to invite. There, crowds of cheering citizens greeted us, and the local government officials escorted us to the city hall. We were here for a significant meeting about the H3 projects. Several construction companies sent their representatives to the city hall. Gus Manger couldn't make the meeting due to his visit to Rizia, but I had Simon Hall, and Lilias Graf by my side. Besides starting our economic recovery, this project cut the time it takes to get here by road in half, Mr. President. More importantly, it will lead to improvement in Atlan. I have lived with these people and seen them suffer. Trust your plans, Simon. I hope so, Lilius. With the highway, we will be well on our way to economically strengthening this weak region. According to my estimations, this project will give about 50,000 citizens from Atlan employment. Nice. What kind of end results do we expect? Do you need additional support? Not as of right now. However, things might come up if the project doesn't go according to plan. Thank you for the offer. Simon reached. I keep saying Simon. Let's go with Simon. Searched through the documents he was holding and found what I was looking for. I have the overview of the companies here. Simon handed the files over to me. Look at the files. Suzerain Corporation, Underhall Construction, and Taurus Holding. I reviewed them. I also took the liberty of asking the mayor of Arbury to give his opinion on the matter. Which corporation should we talk about? Let's go with Underhall Construction. Start with the good one. Start with, like the one that we were promised and all that. For less than a construction company, Giant was founded. Giant! It's under 5 and Speaking this corporation would go against our planned economy policy. Really? The CEO of Underhall is Chris Shar, the mayor of Conriat. He sold half of his shares a few years ago. I had to work with Underhall Construction for Underhall, so they accepted several contracts for the renovation for a central station and left much to be desired. Ah. Oh shit. The H3 project should be left to them. How was your experience with them? Out of all the three, this is the company I trust the least. They seem to fail at respecting the contract terms of their workers. They are likely to cause trouble. I'm not too sure about trusting them with the contract, but at least they have worked on several mega projects and always delivered on time. We need to be able to trust the corporation. Working conditions must be respected. It doesn't inspire confidence. I agree. The workers were undocumented, Acknowledged and Wezek, immigrants with no. Red flag. A clear violation of our laws. According to them, the tight completion schedule necessitates such bad labor conditions, which still doesn't justify the situation. That's true. Underhaul has specifically mentioned their solid track record and highlighted that they do anticipate to go over budget, but that the project will be finished on time. Underhaul seems interesting, but let's hear about the others. Taurus Holding. Let's go. State Corporation goes last. States owned by Entrepreneurial Face. It is a new holding company whose subsidiaries use cutting-edge technology from Arcasia to reduce construction costs and prices. They are known to provide for their workers who are part of the labor union of Swordland. Oh, I kind of like this. There are other things Taurus does very well, like providing consultants for state corporations, but I can't vouch for that infrastructure construction at all. Why shouldn't we go with Taurus? Well, one of our promises will be respected. We promise to focus on a planned economy to create jobs. This company is completely private and directed by a non-government board. Do we even remember if they work on a mega project at all? Choosing this company is too much of a risk for such an important project, especially with an unproven candidate like the SEC exists. Shouldn't risk our first project, there's too much at stake. It took a joint contract in Arcadia for restructuring the highway intersection of one of the major cities. It went well, but it is their only large-scale success. We're going to try a different company that is the most unique. The project manager from Taurus only mentioned that they will be able to finish the project with the allocated funding. They are the only company who found the budget sufficient, making them a cheaper alternative. Definitely worth considering. The Authority State Corporation. The respected SSC, also known, was founded in 1891. It's the main state corporation tasked with running the day-to-day construction services of our country. The SSC is one of our most trusted and honorable companies. They have served us for a long time. I have worked with them on several occasions. It fulfilled our initial election promise of using a state-dominant planned economy to improve Sorland's bleak economic prospects. They have the experience and the manpower to pull off a project like this. Secondly, they are the only company to have worked in the Ackland region out of all the three corporations. The outdated construction methods that they use concern me. They are several decades behind. Ooh. The lack of a modern attitude is disappointing. I don't agree with your negative statements, Simone. The SSC's record clearly shows completed contracts with thousands of employees who have more than 20 years of experience. I like the SSC, but I want to hear about the others. I am on the fence about the SSC. Thunder Savage Company. Let's go with Underhaul. I mean, we've already agreed, so. Some in the Lotharbrook group will be pleased. Contract will be awarded to Underhaul Construction. I wish you had chosen differently, but at the end of the day, the success of the project is what matters. The company will be notified today, and the construction work will begin immediately after. Good luck to us! My expectation is that the grand opening ceremony will happen late next year. I'd better get back to work then. Thank you, this concludes the meeting. Let's enjoy the natural beauty of Ackland and to eat some good fish. Yeesh! Oof! Ah! Yeah! What happens in Narbo? Borders getting tense. Remember, Southern Army have sighted training close to our borders and did not respond to the recent radio message. Oh dear. Oh dear me. The cautionary statement regarding recent activities. Right to express concern. Yeah, that's a what? Don't care. Economy relief plan. Ooh. I'm making this a short stream, I think. Oh, we can smoke this. Whole sword or Conrad? Let's go with whole sword. Oh, wait. Conrad, what are we supposed to do this? Marcel Coronti. Enrica? Oh no. One of our agents acting as a young source member had an encounter with two members. Oh wait, no. The local police force in Enrica, Austin Buller and Victor. According to the report, the policeman tried to bribe the agent to burn down a store that belongs to a non-communist party. Shit! We have a designated policeman in charge of corruption. Hell yeah. Okay, last thing to do before we end the stream. Conflict relief plan. Oh wait. We just have to choose. Never mind. With the assistance of the National Business Council and the Central Bank, Simon Hall put forward a countrywide relief plan to mitigate the economic hardships that are being felt. Simon Hall? Oh, it's him. We can either provide stimulus checks for people in need or bail out businesses under serious financial strain or decide not to approve the plan. Stimulus checks for people in need. We're running out of money. Alright, let's meet up with Marcel Coronti. Our motorcycles headed to the meeting location set by Marcel Coronti. I had all the most confidential and trustworthy team members with me. For a few hours of driving along River Escal, we took a turn before entering Conria. The darkness started settling in as we drove up the hill. Where are we, Serge? We are nearing the HUS Country Club, Mr. President. We'll be there shortly. You arrive at the big iron gates. Last funeral size was our Chile. I was surprised by Victor Factor and Lucian Gallard. I hope the journey was comfortable. Anything to keep. It wasn't bad. I'm looking forward to this meeting. I'm sure we'll be worth our time. He is a Coronti after all. Let's get personal. Let's. We entered the main building. After opening the marble engraved wooden door, we were greeted by two tall women. The receptionist led us to the meeting room upstairs. Marcel was standing by the window looking outside a beautiful complex. He turned around to have a quick look at us both. He was a strikingly handsome man with well-groomed hair. He walked towards me with his hand reached out for a handshake. Reach out for a handshake, of course. He had a firm grip. It is such a pleasure to meet you in person, Mr. Coronti. Oh wait, Coronti is the media owner, not Tusk. What the fuck? Wait a minute. Wait, there's 17 news. What the hell? What does Radical have to say? Help comes at last. The new administration led by President Rain has accomplished a great feat by providing stimulus checks to help people in need. Thank fuck. These started going out as soon as the act was approved by the president himself, and all eligible people in the lower income brackets received nearly 4 months of the average salary on a single day. Cool. This was such a powerful political move that resonated very well with the populace. Praise where praise is due, where the people were in dire need of help and suffered. The president came to their aid. Thanks to this action, many who were economically insecure have just received a second chance to bounce back. Help came to the people at last. Workers' Party Solidarity March. Bludia, Warley, Buddhist Majority, letters audience, the speakers, and again, foiled this war plot. Soul's ideology, target soul, came out of some of conflict, will not only win against discrimination, but win the truth. Wow, okay. 20 bloody citizens were attacked by a group of people suspected to be members of Young Swords. Oh, 3 people. PFJP? Huh. What are the nationalists doing there? I can't read this right now. Sorry. I just want to finish. Thanks for hosting us. I admire your father very much. May you rest in peace. Well, welcome. Your kind words have touched me, Mr. Vice President. He was indeed a great man. Please accept our condolences. We are saddened. We would have been very happy to hear this from you, Mr. President. It's time to look forward. Let's talk about our bright future. Bright future. Yes, there is much to discuss. Believe it or not, I have been a secret admirer of your political success. Find your quick rise to power was shockingly well executed. The admiration goes both ways. I will not be standing here if I was bad at what I do. Marcel gently pointed at the seats. We sat down around the gigantic table before speaking through a knock on the wood. The past months have been tumultuous, to say the least. I am glad you and your family were unharmed at the shooting. The whole incident must have been a shock for the kids. They aren't used to what we lived through back in the late 20s. So I remember when my father took us out of the country when it became too dangerous in Conrad. They were startled, but the important thing is that they are safe and sound. Wow, chill, spare me your life story, the fuck? Of course, that is all that matters. No family should suffer from the tragedy ever again. We had enough of that. Well, I am known to be a straightforward person, so let me get to the point without wasting your valuable time. It was during the Alfonso campaign when I was struck by what you have done within the party. Marcel started to look at one of the paintings on the wall. Just let me be straightforward. Sit down and get to the damn point. Look at Marcel. Marcel has pointed his finger at me. You said we will transform this nation, Mr. Rain. My conglomerate has a way of doing things, and I don't want them to change. So I want to cooperate with you. I'm doing a very terrible British accent right now. I don't know why. Could be the music. Hang on. Cooperate? The music is distracting a bit. Please explain further. You might have the people's support now, Mr. President, but what happens when you make mistakes? Everybody makes mistakes. What is that supposed to mean? Let's hear his point, Vice President. Being a president in this country means having many enemies. Enemies that would resort to anything to bring you down. Let's say these enemies caused a scandal or leaked sensitive information from the administration. But these would be destructive when they were released. If they were released. Continue. We're playing a dangerous game. I see where you're getting at. You knew that a long time before you came here. What do you want in return? Hang on. Say these enemies caused a scandal or leaked sensitive information of the administration. Let's hear your offer. I want two things, Mr. President. Number one is a guarantee from you that the Rain administration won't meddle in HOS affairs, no matter what happens. Number two is a simple gentleman's favor for the future. Let me prove my services to you first, and I'm sure you won't disapprove when the time comes. How do I know that I can trust you? My circle advise against this. They don't even know we are meeting, Mr. President. We both put ourselves at risk here, but I'm willing to trust you. The question is, are you willing to trust me and accept this offer? We ask our comrades. We have a deal. Let's be assertive. We have a deal. Happy to hear that. You can contact me personally through this number. As soon as you know that a story against you will break, please call me and it will be taken care of. I hope you will uphold your end of the bargain as well. Deal is a deal. Shake his hand. Marcel put his second hand on mine. We'll meet again. Goodbye. Thank you for your time, Mr. Corante. That's whole sword. Ooh, interesting. Okay. So like the reason why I decided to agree with the deal with Corante is because I hate the fact that I agreed on Mr. Tusk as well. I'm not sure what that would entail, but you see, like, we're in the midst of a recession. So my logic here is that we need to balance the interests of the businesses and the people. Now, I'm glad that for the economy recovery thing, we had the option of providing, like checks, socials, what is it? Cash transfer for the poor, those who were affected by the recession and all that. So that's good. That's good. At the same time, although by doing so, and also by choosing the infrastructure project that is not the most profitable, it also means that we're putting us against business interests, right? We're not exactly in an ideal society at the moment. So because of that, we gotta be cognizant of maintaining peace amongst the stakeholders. In this case, the people and the businesses. We haven't even talked about between the organizations. We haven't even talked about that. So I think it's good that we remain hush-hush in terms of the business dealings. And hopefully it doesn't bite us in the ass in the future. I think the bribe is going to be very... Ooh, I'm really thinking about the bribe now. I'm starting to regret that. Because I think that's the most dicey one, the most spicy one. Because there's proof. There's like money involved here. I just hope that in the future, the group won't ask me too many things. But we'll see. We shall see. But yeah, good that it's balanced with the check for the people. And for Mr. Quaranty specifically, I think it's good because we have media on our side. Because if we go against the businesses, then media can easily spin all sorts of information. Now, my main concern is my secretary. I've admitted to the fact that I received a bribe from a business mogul. So I don't know. It's quite spicy, but that being said, I think that's all time that I have for tonight, for today. This is what, Dare. We're still waiting for the road to finish. It's taking its damn time, I have to say. Funeral of Bernard Circus. Let's do this. Let's do this for... No. Let's start that with next. For now, let's call it a day. Yes, go back to main menu. Let me just exit the game real quickly. And then I'll be right back with you. Loading, it's loading, it's loading. Why is it taking so long? Oh no, is it crashing? Is it crashing? I think it is. Yep, it's crashing. Oh no. Oh well. All right then. So yeah, I think those are the main decisions that would have a long-term effects on me. Accepting the bribe and accepting the deal with the media mogul and choosing to give checks for the people. Let's see if that's enough to balance the economy. I think the next crucial point will be on what will happen between the conflict between the communists and the nationalists, the fascists, I guess you should call them that. But other than that, I don't know. See, I think this is a lot faster now. I figured out how the game works. You shouldn't click too many things. You just gotta follow the things with the exclamation mark and just go from there. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah. Oh well. Curious to see how things will go. I still think that honestly I expect a bit more granularity in terms of what you could do with the game. In terms of like which policy levers that you could do and all that stuff. But it's quite linear this one, but it's fine. It just means that I'm kind of new with this type of games anyway, so maybe this is like a tutorial before I engage with the more complicated games like Victoria 3 or Sid Meier Civilization. I'll definitely give Victoria a try because it has a more left-leaning bias to it. So, or at least so I've heard. So that would be interesting to play. But yeah, I also want to play, like in contrast, I also want to play Frostpunk, where I'll be a dictator essentially, of a society living in a frozen wasteland, and see if I could make them survive. That would be interesting as well. I love these games where you get to inject politics into it, so in a sense it's very enjoyable. So in any case, I think this is all the time that I have for you for today. I thought I've turned on the AC. For tonight, I'll see if I can stream again sometime this week. I'm not sure when. Maybe on Sunday. Sunday's going to be the soonest. If I could actually stream on Sunday, I'll try to do like 2 streams. Like the first stream will be on something educational. I'm going to read this publication on the feminist aspects of just transition. I think that will be interesting to read. And at night, I'll play Suzerain again. So, all right. Make sure to leave a like. Thank you so much for stopping by. And let me know what you guys think. You can comment as well if you want. That will be very helpful as well. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.